Now, I would like to welcome you all once again. Now, now it's 5:02. So for this talk, it lasts around 30 minutes. 30 minutes. So how about that? I will start sharing my screen now. And now this is the program on what we call the EVMT, the Environmental Management and Technology. Okay. Now, as I introduced myself earlier on, I'm actually now the program director of this EVMT program. Now, I need to check. Okay, yes, you should be seeing my screen now. Now, if in a nutshell, what is the objective of this EVMT program? I will say, like the slogan here, we would like to groom future sustainability leaders. Now, how is that environment related to sustainability? Okay, the two words are totally different, right? Well, to give you an idea, when we talk about this sustainability, particularly in Hong Kong context, I believe, okay, most of you are from Hong Kong. Now, let's think about Hong Kong situations. We all know, okay, Hong Kong is the major economic activities likely will be in the service industry, say the finance sector, say the business and commerce. Now, with the current kind of over 1.5 year pandemic, let's think about it. Now, probably, I believe most of you had used the apps to order your food. And then after a certain period of time, somebody will press the doorbell, ding dong. Then you open door and you collect your ordered food, right? Well, while you are enjoying your food through these kind of different types of online platforms and also deliverers, yes, on one hand, we can use this so-called remote ordering to obtain or to get our food that we enjoy. But have you thought about that at the same time, we are creating more what? The containers waste, okay? Not only the food containers, but also the plastic bags. Now, review a bit on these kind of practices is quite normal to us nowadays. While we are enjoying our food, we are actually creating much more waste than before, maybe. Now, probably most of you have heard about the ocean plastics and the microplastics problems in the ocean. Now, putting the two scenarios together, will us ourselves, directly or indirectly, actually creating more and more this waste under these pandemic environmental situations. Now, so when we think about this and we project, can Hong Kong last long with this substantial increase of the waste, right? Okay, can our landfill site accommodate them? If not, where will this waste go? And what will be the impact to us back in long term? So in a nutshell, in our program, we will try to nurture our students or to prepare our students. They start their professional career in this sustainability field to handle all these kind of, on one hand, we need the things we need, but on the other hand, we minimize, okay, the impacts, particularly the negative ones on our environment. Now, I try to use this example actually to let you know that Hong Kong, the major economic activities are the commerce, finance, service. Does that mean we didn't touch on the sustainability? Now, I use the food as an example. Actually, the more or I will say, the more tertiary level that we are doing our economic activities. Down there, actually, there's a lot of what we call the supply chain. We need resources to make the products. We need transportations to transport or carry them from the site of production to the site of enjoyment, or that's where we are enjoying or consuming them. Now, in this whole process, you will see, no matter we enjoy, we are actually directly or indirectly exhausting the Earth's resources. Will this can be long-lasting, indefinitely, or there will be some limit that hindering our development? So you can see, actually, along the business, even they are doing business, there's more and more concerns on these environmental resources and also the negative environmental impact for sustainable development. Some of you may know in Hong Kong, as I mentioned a couple of times already, financial center. Now, if you understand the requirement now for the Hong Kong stock exchange, they actually not only required every listed company for their financial report, that's the stakeholders concern, but they also now require every listed company to produce or to report annually on their ESG. What is ESG for? Environment, social, and governance. Now, when you put this into the perspective of the sustainable development, you see there's three main components in the sustainable development: environment, social, and economics. Now, so you will see every business will become more and more concerned about this sustainability. Now, you may also heard of now, okay, in Hong Kong or in the Bay Area or even in the global trend, green finance, green bond. What does that mean? Actually, they are now incorporating these sustainability concepts into the financial sector as well, into the banking sectors as well. So that when they are giving out money to some big projects, for example, now in Hong Kong, we could think about Lantau tomorrow. Now, if that's the project going to be launched, they need a lot of money, okay, for the project work. Nowadays, the bank is not just only concerning about the interest they can generate from their loan, but they're also concerning when this money are they used for the better for the environment, or they just are destroying more of the environment? And that's come up with the concept of green bond or sustainable finance. Now, I share with all these with you guys is actually to let you know that the sustainability is not only emerging, but will become more and more important in every sector in our society. Now, this is exactly where EVMT position ourselves. Yes, we have the vision that we want to groom, to prepare our next generations, okay, so that they can develop themselves as a professional, environmental, or sustainability leaders, okay, when they graduate along their career development path. So we hope that this program, we are not targeting just Hong Kong kind of environmental issue or sustainability issues. We are too small. So in our program, we will expose our students to not only local, but say regional in the bigger so-called Asia regions, and even global perspective on the development of all these sustainability needs. Now, I'm happy to share with the group here that EVMT is accredited by the Hong Kong Institute of Qualified Environmental Professionals. In short, we call it HKIQEP. Now, this HKIQEP, I would say, is a kind of a new professional group in the environmental professionals. And the goal of the HKIQEP is going to gain the status as a professional engineers from the HKIE. So they're still, in terms of the career development, the environmental and the sustainability field will be a very prestigious niche that you can consider to pursue. Now, how then we prepare our students, okay, for these needs and also to be more professional sustainability leaders? Now, this, I think I will just give you an overview. In our curriculum, you know, nowadays, university 4-year program. So on the year 1, basically, it's kind of a consolidation of what you have learned from high school. And in year 2, we will start the major foundation courses. And then in the year 3 and year 4, we have more focused or specialized courses to prepare our students. And later on, in this sharing, I will share more with the capstone project with you. Now, along these, okay, besides the regular classrooms, we also encourage students to participate other enrichment programs like the minor Europe. Now, I'll come back on this one by one later. Now, this shows you a table that the study path, okay, in our words, in our terms, that kind of the courses our students are likely to take along the different semesters, okay, during their 4-year studies. So you can see here, actually, we have some electives here. You can see here, some elective, and here, elective. Now, all these elective why we put this into our curriculum is, on one hand, because environment is such a big field. It can cover quite a large different topics or subjects. So we will allow our students to inline, to fitting their interests, and also preparing their career directions. They can make use of these electives to take the courses that are helping them for their career development. Give you one very clear example. Say, some particular boys may be more interested in the technical side. So in this aspect, the students can use these electives to take the more technical courses like EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment, like the energy audit, like the green building courses, or even the air control and management course. Now, so some other students, they may more interest really on the business side. So for those students, they can use, again, these electives, like taking more business course. Now, one particular course I think quite a large number of EVMT students are interested is the negotiation course. Now, negotiation means what? Kind of a communication skill. You need to talk, okay, with others, so that at the end, hopefully, a consensus or agreement can be reached, okay, so that every party can have a win-win situations. Now, this is a busy chart, but I mean, I won't bother you with this at this moment. When you join us, you will know more, okay? Okay, now let's move on. Now, this cartoon, I would try to show you that actually these are different courses. Now, in facing the kind of complex challenge in the environmental issues or sustainability issues, we need our students to have a really broad understanding on from different perspectives. So you'll see we have some science course, they will cover on environmental science. We have some engineering course, more technical side. We have also business preparation so that our students know how a business is being operated. Okay, what are those jargons, those words means, okay? And of course, when we talk about environment, we are working with people. So we also have some social science, more people-oriented kind of courses our students can take. But much more important is our own so-called synthesized and integrated course. So in this kind of a central box courses, these are our own designed courses that will try to integrate the science component, the engineering component, or even business or social component into our course, so that in one course, from one topic, our students can have kind of a holistic understanding. Now, after all of you now on the web, right? You are using the webinar, okay, joining this talk. Now, I will say you may be more proficient than me on using this so-called IT or web technology. So what I'm going to emphasize, all these, I would say, they're just knowledge and technical skills, which I mean, on nowadays, you just Google, search, there will be a whole bunch of knowledge and information and facts you will collect or you will get. So is knowledge the most important thing in your university education? I would say no. Now, what's more important is actually in our curriculum, besides this core knowledge, what we want our students to start prepare themselves are actually some more soft skills. Now, here are some kind of these different kinds of activities we try to enrich our students. Say, mentorship program, they're starting to know the business by knowing the people. Now, these mentors may be already at their mid or senior level in their so-called companies, business, or sectors. We have also arranged, starting from this year, some peer mentors by our own graduate EVMT students. Okay. Now, internships, sharing with you from the exit survey, our EVMT students on average actually has 3 to 4 different internships. Now, these internships are actually allowing the students to expose into real working environment on different sectors. So through these experiences, students will know more, not only what are needed in the sector, but also what kind of the nature of the business will be. And this is very important when they are starting preparing their career, or in a nutshell, looking for their first job, which sector, which kind of work they should look for. Now, gap year, you can say this is an extended internship. I actually, UST also encourage more on this so-called taking one semester or even one whole year away from the university study and really working out there in for 1 year time. A typical example here for UMT students is working in CLP, the China Light and Power Company, for 1 year. Now, in that case, through 1 year kind of working, actually, say the CLP, I mean the company, when they are taking this gap year students, they will treat them as a full-time staff. So you can see, as a full-time staff, the task or the responsibility assigned on you will be very real comparing with just a student internship. So again, through this kind of a real exposure to the workplace, students will become not only gaining real experiences, but they are more important. They have more insights on their career development. Now, the others, say exchanges, visits, field study trips, I'll come back on this later on. All in all, these are not actually in the classroom, happening or learned in the classroom, but they are through this kind of experiences and also exposures, participations, okay, engagements. What we want our students to acquire is kind of these soft skills, which are very, very important in nowadays workplace: leaderships, teamwork, how to work with each other. Talking about ideas, innovation, creativity, okay? And also social means how you interact with others. Now, your thinking, critical analysis, and problem solving, and more important is communications. Now, so all in all, we are actually preparing our students kind of a more holistic education to them, so that in terms of their development, they're not just getting a degree, but they're developing themselves in a holistic, in a balanced manner. And this, we think, will prepare them much, much better for their professional careers. Now, as I shared earlier on, this kind of enrichment activities or unique learning experience in UAMT. Now, field trip, for example, we try to take students out maybe from 5 days to 6 days. Okay, say mostly are in the Asia regions, say from Malaysia, Taipei, Tokyo, Seoul, and actually the last place we visit is just before the pandemic, Jeju Island in South Korea. And the farthest city we visit is Cologne in Germany. Now, why we take students out? Because on these different places, we want our students to really see what's happening in the real world, in the real sector, and also learn what are the best practices out there. So through these visits, okay, through these talks, and particularly the Q&A sections in our visits, students are more clear about what the real situation is, okay? Now, the internship, all these groups, okay, you may know, all these are big names in Hong Kong. Okay, even Airport Authority, we have students working summer interns there. Swire, okay, you all know, say Worldwide Fund, okay, now this is the big four, PwC, and also the EY, Deloitte, okay. Now, even the Bloomberg, the financial sector, we have students working there. Now, CLP, I mentioned earlier on. Now, the lists actually are endless, okay, and we are adding more and more to it. For this capstone project, I think is quite unique in our UVNT program. Now, probably some of you may heard of, oh, final year students in university, they need to do a final year project before they graduate. Yes, that's right. But our capstone project, why we call this capstone? Because we are addressing quite a lot of students will make this comment. I really don't know what I'm learning, or I really don't know how I can apply what I learned in classroom to my work. Now, that's exactly why we arranged this capstone project. In this capstone project, you see all these different, in their final presentation, all their advisors are sitting here, raising questions, discussing with them. Now, what are the advisors? You see, the projects are actually not the university project. These projects are all sponsored or supported by the non-university organizations. Now, say, for example, here, Airport Authority, Fuji Xerox, you may know this name, EPD Hong Kong government, Arab, okay, the Green Earth, one of the green NGO now, say EY, Ernst & Young, one of the big four audit firm, even the Kowloon Motor Bus Company, okay, had once given us a project as well. Now, the highlight here is actually we are using this capstone project, not just, okay, let our students know what they can apply from what they learned in the previous years in this final capstone project for one specific corporate, okay, who sponsored the project. But more important, we make use of this platform so that our final year group students, they are actually work under the supervision of these management people or the managers people. Most of the advisors are at the mid or senior levels in these companies. So we are preparing our students at the final year how to work in a commercial manner. And frankly sharing as the feedback, I think is very helpful. There are students, when they graduate, okay, finish their final year studies, they start their work. It makes their life more easier in the real workplace. Now, you may ask then, what will be the career? Now, we have around 8 cohorts of graduates. That means 8 groups of students, batches of students graduate already. Now, from our statistics, it's basically the distribution. Actually, a little bit more than half of our students work in the business and commerce sector. 15% in the more technical side on the environmental consultants. Another 15% on some NGO or NPO. And then also quite evenly, around 15% they pursue further study, a master's degree or even a PhD degree. And of course, there's some minority. Some may have family business. Some actually, like UST is promoting the entrepreneurships, their startups, their own ideas, transform them to a business. Now, down here, you see the names. Actually, in the business and commerce sector, our students actually work in a wide different fields. Okay, banking, properties developments, commerce group, textile groups, audit firms. So it's quite diverse. And this is actually echoing the introduction part I shared, that every business sector is more concerning about sustainability. Now, for the environmental consultants, it's more technical side. You see all this EPD, AECOM, Arab, these are kind of more technical environmental consultants. Now, for the NGO, it's also not a conventional type, I would say. Say, Civic Exchange is more on the environmental policy side. And this Teach for Hong Kong is an education NGOs. They are actually hope to help or to enrich the minority group here in Hong Kong in terms of the education quality. Okay. Now, for further studies, now you see I put Cambridge University in top. Now, why? Because this is really our pleasure to see that one of our first graduates, he actually finished his PhD study at Cambridge University this summer. And he's now joining us back, help to enrich our EVMT program. So other university like in the States, the Carnegie Mellon's, UC Berkeley, Columbia, okay, Duke, these are very so-called top universities in the Ivy League in the United States. And of course, locally, the big three, CUHK, ourselves, and the Hong Kong U, we have students, okay, joining different types of the master or even research program. Okay, now, so this gives you a kind of profile. On this spectrum, actually, it is in line with the wide spectrum on the sustainability or environmental field, that our students with their interest, they can find a niche in the workplace that they can develop their career professionally. Now, if to sum up from my interaction with our students, what are the attributes of our students? Now, I would say the first two is very important. Passionate with the environment, caring for the people. Now, some of them are actually, as I mentioned, communication is very important, good communicators. Now, they are also very resourceful, think what we call out of the box, okay? Now, more important is they are a sort of quite open mind, receptive to new ideas, trying new things with this so-called daring, a bit daring, means they are courageous enough to try something new out of their comfort zone. Now, I try to end up with the top with this slide is, for you, okay, if you're considering your major, if you're really concerned about the environment, EVMT may be the choice you can consider, okay? Now, sad to say, because of the pandemic, we cannot meet face-to-face, but under the current situation, we also try our best, okay, to arrange something that you can experience with us, the EVMT program. So we have these experience workshops arranged on October 10th, okay, around 2 weeks later, okay? So if you're interested, you can come in and join us, okay, physically. And we have 2 sections. They are identical. So that means either one, you can join either one of them. That will do. One is 11:30, the other is 4:30. Now, for the details, please pay attention to the HKUST arrangement. This is coordinated by the university. Last but not least, now this is another so-called goal or direction of our EVMT program. We hope that not only we, but together with you, okay, as the younger generations, we can work together and transform tomorrow with much greener ideas, so that to make not only Hong Kong, but the region and even the globe more sustainable. And that means we can develop much, much further, okay, and hopefully indefinitely, okay. Now, I will end here, okay, for my sharings, and I hope that this can give you a better ideas about the EVMT.